The engaged Datamine is finally dropped, and that means we have a ton of information to go over. This Datamine's actually humongous, and it also helps to determine the fate of these engaged characters as we finally get to see their stat lines to see just how good they can possibly be. Let's just jump straight into it, and we'll start off with Ader's stats. So we have 40 HP, 44 attack, 46 speed, 33 defense, and 16 resistance. Ader has a super boon in speed and defense, but with a super bane in HP, attack, and resistance. So she's going to be kind of like a landmine, right? You're either going to get a really good super boon with like speed, or you might just have really bad super bane and it's going to be kind of rough. Overall, though, the stat line's very, very good, very competitive, very offensive, right? I think this is a perfect stat line for her, so she's looking very good there. Let's move on to Alcrest, though, because this is where it gets really interesting in my opinion. We have 39 HP, 43 attack, 46 speed, 30 defense, and 24 resistance with super boon in attack and res, but super banes in HP and speed, which is pretty rough. Now, this is a pretty solid stat line. I mean, Alcrest is going to be hit plenty hard, and pretty much when you go with Alcrest, you're going to want like a super boon in attack and speed because he does have that desperation effect built into his arcane weapon. That's pretty much what you're going to be going for. Now, here is the character that really is dependent on their stat line, and it's Diamant, and I have been scared all night thinking about this. So let's look at his stat line. He has 41 HP, 46 attack with a super boon, 36 speed with the super boon, 43 defense with a super bane, and then 21 resistance. So essentially what we're looking at here is like a red sword Brave Dimitri stat line pretty much, right? Like really low res, good defense and attack, and then like middling speed. Now, how good is this really for Diamant? And I'm going to be honest, I am very afraid. And the reason why is that you actually kind of need to stack some speed on Diamant so you can actually take full effect of his weapon, right? Because even with needing 25 speed to double Diamant, 36 speed is not much, right? If you think about it, right, he has 36 speed. Let's say he has a super boon in speed, right? That's 40 speed. So just with that and his weapon, that's 45 speed. That's only 70 speed to double him. While that might sound like a big number, realistically, 70 speed is not much nowadays. Speed creep has been going absolutely insane. And I think a great example of this could be like Legendary Veronica, right? One of the meta nukes in the game. Legendary Veronica, with no merges and just a super boon in speed, just with her weapon, not with any skills, has 62 speed, right? 62 speed. Once you add her actual base kit, he's already up to 83 speed. Like that easily blows Diamant out the water. So that's kind of like bad. That's like not a good sign already. But then when you actually consider like how much speed Veronica can get, like at full merges and like with like a visible bonus and stuff like that, she gets up to 94 speed, which means that you need like 69 speed on Diamant, or like actually 70 speed on Diamant to deny her double, which is a lot of speed. So the thing is, right, with Diamant is it's not the best. I honestly wish that they would have taken his attack and kind of lowered it to like maybe like 42 and then given him like 40 speed. I think that would have been a lot better, because the thing is with Diamant, like the idea was that you don't have to really like invest into his speed, but that does not seem to be the case. We are going to have to invest into Diamant's speed if we actually want him to deny doubles from units who were actually like nukes, right? Because nukes just have ridiculous speed nowadays. So what does that mean? That means like you're probably going to need to put speed in his A slot. He already comes with like attack speed bulwark, so that kind of helps in the B slot. But then when it comes like to the C slot, you can't really get that much speed. You could like try to go for Oath or something like that. And then also you're going to need speed in his seal slot as well. So you kind of have to like revamp his kit a bit. If you're planning to go with like Omni-Take build with Diamant anyway, you're probably going to have to like fodder a Fallen Byleth to him to get that attack speed solo distant counter. So that was kind of already in the plan anyway. But you're definitely going to need to invest in Diamant speed. And I'm honestly very nervous about this because Diamant has traded away a lot of his powerful effects for some other options. I'll probably jump into this more later in a Diamant like exclusive video. But like not being able to stack damage reduction is not the best. And when you're going to be not as fast, you really can't take big hits. That's the thing. Like he can't afford to get doubled with 21 resistance, even with flat damage reduction, because he doesn't have normal damage reduction to add to a layer, right? There's no layer of normal damage reduction to lower the damage even further. And so you're probably going to need stack speed on him to actually be able to do some stuff. I mean, he can possibly one-shot some nukes in retaliation, right? But then there's units like Veronica, there's usually units like Legendary Hinoka who are going to stop those counterattacks, like either through like Hinoka's like sweep effect or like Veronica being able to hit twice before he gets a chance to attack. So I'm pretty nervous for Diamant. I don't think this is the best stat line for him. Definitely should have gotten more speed, but it is what it is. Okay, let's move on to male Alear. And a male Alear is essentially identical to female Alear, almost, right? He has the super boon in attack and speed. He has a super bane in HP. He has the 44 attack, 44 speed. But the only difference really is that he trades one attack, so he gets one more attack than female Alear, but he loses one speed. And then he gets one more defense than female Alear, but he loses one resistance. So it's like pretty similar to how male Byleth and female Byleth were, though they had I think they had 2 stat swap instead of 1. But so, I mean, overall, this is like a very solid stat line. I do think that female Alear's stat line's slightly better just because speed is that valuable. But it's not a big deal, especially for a free-to-play character, right? That's an insanely good gift. So male Alear is looking very solid. Then we head over to Citrine, and oh my gosh, Citrine. Ooh, so we have 38 HP, 46 attack with a super boon. So she can hit 50 attack just with no weapon equipped. That's already really good. She does have a super bane in HP, speed, and resistance though, which kind of sucks because she is kind of like a resistance-based unit. So I was really hoping they'd give her a super boon there so she could hit like 48 resistance, which would be insane. It would allow her to like get through some dragon walls and stuff like that. Either way, this is a very good stat line for Citrine, what she's trying to do, right? She's not really trying to be a fast unit. She's relying on guaranteed follow-up attacks. I'm like probably going to be going for an AoE build in those situations or something like that. Or like maybe like even like a Special Spiral 4 Iceberg build with like Catcher support, right? Where she can get the double from that way. So I think this is a pretty solid stat line for Citrine. Very nice. Let's head over to Lapis. Oh my gosh, Lapis. So Lapis is our new 3 to 4 star demote sword unit. And if you've known, like sometimes they get some good stat lines and sometimes they get horrible stat lines. But Lapis definitely came out as a massive winner this time. She has 41 HP, 41 attack, 45 speed with a super boon. She has 29 defense, 32 res, and she does have a super bane, unfortunately, in attack and defense, but it's not the biggest deal, honestly. The big thing is that she has that super boon in speed. So you could say that her attack is a little bit low, but honestly, it's fine. 41 is definitely good enough. What the most important thing was her speed, and having 49 speed on a demote is fantastic. So you're absolutely going to be able to use this unit and invest into her, plus 10 her pretty easily, and then give her one of those arcane swords and really see how amazing she can be. Now the star of this Datamine though has to be Zephia. She's our new free-to-play queen, and she got an amazing stat line. So we have 41 HP, 40 attack, 44 speed, 23 defense, and 24 resistance. Very, very solid stat line, especially for a GHB unit. She has super boons in attack and res. She does have a super bane in speed, but that doesn't really matter because she'll come out neutral, so you can just give her that boon in speed if you want to. And this is a very solid stat line. I'm loving this. But the best part is that she actually has a PRF weapon as well. So let's jump over here to Pack Leader Tome. So this gives speed plus 3, and then at start of turn, if her HP is greater than or equal to 25%, she's going to inflict speed and resistance -6 and panic on the nearest foe within 5 spaces of herself and the foes within 2 spaces of that unit. And then if her HP is greater than or equal to 25%, she inflicts attack speed and resistance -X on the foe during combat. X equals current penalty plus 5. So with the weapon, that's inflicting -11 to attack speed and resistance, which is pretty strong overall. And then also, if she initiates combat, she gets offensive no follow-up. So how good is this weapon? I think this weapon's actually not bad, right? For a free-to-play unit, it's pretty solid. The big problem with it, in my opinion, is that Robin exists, right? Legendary Robin is like the most meta impactful unit at the moment, so you really don't want to be debuffing units, and even adding Panic on top is kind of bad because the way Unity and Panic interacts, right, it just gives them a ton of stats. So I think this is a pretty cool weapon, but you know, meta-wise, I don't think we're going to see Zephia all that much in the meta, but as a free-to-play character, she looks really fun and cool, so I'm very happy overall. Okay, now let's move over to the fodder of this banner, and the first thing we'll check out is Lapis's fodder. Obviously, she has the Fire Sword, which is not the best inheritable weapon. You're definitely going to want to get her an Arcane Sword, preferably one from Fallen Crom, but that's not the biggest deal. We'll keep going down. She has Luna, not a big deal. Sorcery Blade 3. This is actually really nice because we do have attack speed Hexblade on Legendary Yuri right now. And the only way to really get fodder for that is like Yulgur, I think, right now. Which, you know, not everybody has like 10 Yulgurs lying around to fodder. So this is a great option to do that, especially because even if you are merging up Lapis, you'll probably eventually get more than 11 copies. And then you can use this as fodder. She also gets speed defense 03, not a big deal. Then we go down to Zephia, and she has some very nice fodder. We actually get attack, speed, catch 3 in our GHB pool. We already had some options for this, right? It wasn't like the most rare fodder, but having another option for Grails is always nice, so I'm very happy about that. We also get another source of Wind Sweep, which is nice, not the biggest deal, but not bad either. Okay, so we have Alcrest, and he has the new Flash Sparrow skill, and this is a very big deal because for the longest time, we've been looking for a new like Flashing Blade 4 or Heavy Blade 4, and the thing is, Flyers and Cavalry can't use Flashing Blade 4, and it makes no sense at all for no reason. It's an absolutely major downside for those movement types. And unfortunately, I screwed us over yet again, and for some reason, Flash Barrel is not inheritable to flyers or calves. This is trash. I am so not happy. As you can see, it requires Swift Sparrow 2 or Flashing Blade 3 as the requirement. Why not just make it Swift Sparrow 2? Why not just make it Swift Sparrow 2 and then everybody can use it? It's stupid. I hate it. It's so dumb because Flashing Blade would have been so nice on so many calves and flyers. I just completely dropped the ball with this one. Not happy at all. Let's move on to Ader's fodder though. We have Beast Sense 4. So this is the new tier 4 beast skill for Beast, which does have that speed-based damage reduction. And this inherit is very nice. It can be inherited by any beast unit who is not in armor. Now, I don't think this is the biggest deal as most beast armors aren't exactly fast. You can kind of stack Mufasa's speed to make him decently fast, but even so, you probably wouldn't want to run this on him anyway. You're probably better off running something like Hardy Fighter, right? And same thing with like Fallen Edelgard or like Femortis either, right? So I don't think that's a big deal. The fact that you can inherit to like infantry, calves, and flyers is extremely nice, and it's going to be a really, really good skill to hand up to some of those units. Now, the major downside with the skill, of course, is that there is no access to Beast Sense 3. So what does this mean? This means every time you want to copy this skill on a unit, you have to kill an Ader and get nothing else, which is pretty trash. You can't even get her arcane weapon plus this, which really is a downside, but I do think the skill is very good, and there's going to be a lot of units who really do want the skill, including units like Nyla, right? Nyla's going to love this skill, so overall, pretty happy with the skill inheritance restrictions here. Okay, continuing the beast information, if you didn't know, the beast calves actually got an update to their transformation effect, so no longer is it attack and defense -4 and an impact effect, now it is attack and defense -X and 30% damage reduction based off how many spaces you move, and that is a dual face damage reduction, so it's actually a nice little upgrade. And it's going to be available to a lot of the older beast calves, like units who have refines, right? So like Yarn, Pan, Randolph, Lethe, New Year's Lethe, all those like Selkie, all those older units are going to get access to this. The problem is that you actually have to re-refine the weapon to get that effect. So instead of just changing the base weapon effect, they actually have two options now to refine. So what does that mean? It means if you already refine, let's say Lethe's weapon with the old effect, with the impact effect, you now have to spend 500 arena medals and 200 more due to get the new upgraded effect, which is ass. It totally sucks. What a waste of due. I mean, it's cool that you could choose between the two options, right? Because sometimes maybe impact could be slightly better. Typically not, in my opinion, but like maybe you really love impact. So now that option is available. Unfortunately, everybody has to pay like a due premium to get the access to it, which really sucks. I'm not very happy about that, but at least we do have the option, I guess. Okay, now let's move on to the new Hall of Forms that is going to drop for Thracia. And I'm going to be honest, this is one underwhelming Hall of Forms. We have essentially 3 demotes and then Legendary Leaf. Now, if you're a massive fan of one of these demotes, you know, I'm glad for you. You get to build like one of your favorite demotes with like an absolutely cracked build. Cool. But realistically, the only unit of value here is Legendary Leaf, in my opinion. That's the unit I'm going to be building. You can get him a very nice kit, though, which is cool. But, I mean, it's pretty much like the Leaf show for this Hall of Forms, unfortunately. So we'll have to see what next month brings. Hopefully a little bit more of a stacked lineup. I was really hoping for someone like Dancer Reinhardt, or like Dancer Ishtar, or something like that, right? Some kind of unique unit that would be fun to build, who isn't like broken by any means, but we could give him a new kit. Okay, now let's jump into the next section. This is kind of slight spoilers for the story. We kind of already saw it in the trailer, but if you're like sensitive to spoilers a lot, then, you know, stop right now, don't look. Essentially what we have now is a new form right here for Hathor, where she gets to be like a snake monster, and she's a green tome. I mean, that's kind of cool, right? And then here's the actual sprite. The sprite looks amazing. I don't know why it has boobs. Like, why did they put boobs on the snake monster? Was that really necessary? I'm sure that's somebody's kink, but it's definitely not mine, so you do you, I guess. Okay, let's move down to the actual weapon, and of course we have to thank Zanuck for all the Datamine information. They are absolutely amazing. So we do have a new weapon, Golden Curse. It's a green tome, and it has Slaying. If a rally assist skill is used by unit or target's unit, you inflict attack speed, defense, res -4, and guard on foes in cardinal directions of unit and target. You also, if you initiate combat or if you're within 2 spaces of an ally, you're also going to get plus $5 stats. You get 15% true damage based off your attack, excluding AoEs, and you reduce damage from the foe's first attack by 30% during combat. So I don't know if we'll actually get this unit in the game as a summonable unit. I kind of doubt it, just because of like, where would this show up? Maybe like in a Fallen banner next year? I don't know. I'm not completely sold. I think this weapon's like pretty mid. It's not terrible, but it's not great either. So Honestly, not the biggest loss for me, but at least the sprite looks really cool. Too bad it's not a beast unit, I guess. That'd be kind of interesting. Okay, and then the final news for this update, of course, is that we are getting another support pack. Not a really big deal. $8.99, you get your like bonus SP stuff, and you get some nice little backgrounds, right? Like a little library and another side of the library. So nothing really big there, but for all the big whales out there, you know, just another thing to buy. Okay, and with that, that is all the information for the update. Very big update, lots of great stuff here. I think we got some amazing stuff for free-to-play players, honestly. Getting Lapis as a demote and Zephia are just two free-to-play units you could really invest into and get a lot of bang for your buck, in my opinion, which is always nice. When it comes to stat lines, I think everybody has a really strong stat line. Diamant is a bit questionable. We're going to have to do testing to see exactly what kind of build we need on Diamant to make him work. I'm a bit scared, I'm not going to lie, but I don't want to start dooming yet before I actually get my hands on him. And with that, I would love to hear from you. What do you think of this update? What do you think of the stat lines for all these characters? Who are you most so excited for in this data mine? Are you a giant Diamant simp like me? Or are you just happy to get some free-to-play characters that are really looking good? Either way, drop a comment down below letting me know. And as always, I'd like to thank all my members for their constant support. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. This has been Oblivion. I'll catch y'all later.